Some of these creatures were caught lurking in cemeteries. Others were filmed crawling across rooftops in the dead of night. And one was allegedly spotted by thousands of people during a chaotic incident at a shopping mall. From a strange being that supposedly entered a man's home in Australia to an infamous leaked alien interview from Area 51. These are more mysterious beings not from Earth caught on camera.
Can you come out of the grass?
The footage you just saw there has been floating around the internet for a long time. It was recorded by a man named Alex Player in Australia back in 2010. He claimed to have captured footage of an alien creature in his backyard not once, but 4 separate times. Encounters were filmed on October 5th, October 24th, November 20th, and November 28th, using both a video camera and his mobile phone. Alex described what he saw the first time as the clearest encounter. It was not that tall, only as high as the grass, and a gray color with a big head. Didn't make a single sound, he said. Things escalated in early November when Alex claimed the creature actually entered his home. He and his mother sat together in his room while it, quote, moved through the house in 2 minutes. Then we heard a thud outside like it was jumping off the veranda. Alex uploaded this footage to YouTube, got a lot of attention. The clip from the first October encounter was used in an independent documentary called Gone with the UFOs in 2011. See if you notice anything strange in this clip. Now let's slow things down and zoom in a bit. Some sort of alien-looking creatures lurking behind a headstone. The footage was allegedly filmed in 2005, but the video wasn't posted to YouTube until 2015. The person who recorded it claimed they hadn't actually noticed the creature until they watched the footage back years later. But no location, no name. Whoever filmed it remained anonymous. The video got reposted tons of times, and as you can imagine, reactions were all over the place. Some were pretty sure it was a hoax, but most people agreed that the footage was pretty creepy regardless, and there were also plenty of people who thought that it was genuine. Like one commenter who wrote, "I think this thing is demonic. I've heard of similar things being cited here in Oklahoma, and the Bible alludes to the demonic having an affinity with cemeteries." What are your thoughts on this video? Genuinely weird footage or a hoax? This is footage of the infamous Victor alien interview. This one gets talked about a lot amongst alien enthusiasts. I've talked about this clip on the channel before too, but the version you're looking at here is different from the one that I've shown before. This is the original format. It's brighter. You could see more of the creature. For those not in the know though, let me explain. The video's been floating around for decades now. It allegedly shows an interview taking place with an alien being at the S4 base near Area 51. It was supposedly leaked by a whistleblower who only ever identified himself as Victor. He made a copy of the top secret recording, and that footage ended up being featured in a 1997 documentary called Area 51, The Alien Interview, which also includes testimonies from people like Bob Lazar. Victor narrates over the footage throughout, though he never outright states that he worked at Area 51. Whether the footage is genuine or not, I don't know, but the story behind it is pretty interesting regardless. Victor's identity was also never confirmed. This video comes from 2015. Using his cell phone camera, a ranch owner in Nuevo Laredo was hearing strange noises in his backyard. He grabbed his phone and started filming. He stepped outside and he ended up capturing some pretty creepy footage.
Las láminas. Se estremece, voltea hacia el techo.
The strange sounds continued. Now it sounded like it was coming from the roof. So he quickly panned over and saw this.
Tira la cámara. Ahí. Vea usted. ¿Qué es eso?
Crouching on the roof was some kind of strange humanoid creature. It was agile, extremely thin, with unusually long arms and legs, and a small head. It looked like your classic pale crawler or rake alien-like creature.
Oh, what the is happening, bro? If we out of this, we out of this, we out of this.
Alright, this is a crazy case. Thousands of witnesses, plenty of footage of people running away in a panic, but any security footage or personal recordings of the incident are nowhere to be found. Supposedly, they were confiscated, so the story goes. This is the very bizarre case of the Bayside Marketplace aliens. So on New Year's Day 2024, something happened at Bayside Marketplace in downtown Miami that still gets talked about today. Police were called out to the mall after reports of teenagers fighting and fireworks fireworks, pretty standard New Year's chaos. But then witness accounts started coming in, and it got pretty weird, really weird. Over 10 people claimed that they saw 3 massive humanoid figures walking out of a clothing store inside the mall, like 9 to 10 feet tall, with long, thin limbs and elongated torsos. They were also described as pure black, almost shadow-like. Others described them having a more reflective surface. There was a full-on panic, with people rushing to get out of the mall, and the police response that night was massive. There are all these videos online of squad cars filling up the whole street, and people were like, really? I mean, some kids fighting warranted this response? Miami PD stuck to the disturbance explanation. They denied any evidence of aliens, but there were lots of witnesses who came forward describing the same basic thing. Whatever the case, it is definitely a weird story. This strange image was snapped back on July 21st, 1967 by a teenage boy named Ronnie Hill in North Carolina. He was out in his family's garden when a strange smell hit him, bad enough to make his eyes water. He looked over toward a nearby field and saw a spherical white craft, roughly 9 feet in diameter, sitting on the ground. Then something stepped out from behind it. It had spindly thin legs, an oversized head, was wearing a shiny silver suit. It walked over, pushed some kind of black object into the ground, pulled it back out, returned to the ship, and left. The whole thing happened in complete silence, but during that time, Ronnie had managed to run inside, grab a portable Kodak camera, and come back out in time to photograph the creature while it was still there, standing about 15 feet away. Now, it's a pretty far-fetched story, to say the least, and looking at the photo, there are some issues. There's not much in the image we can use for scale. The image quality isn't great either, but there's still an image connected to the case, and that's more than can be said about a lot of alien reports that have gotten more attention than this. Ronnie's case never really went anywhere, but meanwhile, people with nothing but a story to tell have sold books, gotten movie deals, and built entire followings. In 2015, 2 people walking along a riverbank in a small Russian town came across this creepy alien-looking thing. At first, they thought it was maybe a mutant chicken embryo, but it wasn't. One researcher said, "It seems that this body is neither fish nor fowl. This creature has a mysterious skull, no neck, and wings." It was examined by experts at an institute of biophysics who couldn't identify it. Biologist Igor Zadarev said extensive studies are needed to determine what kind of creature or organism it is. The body was apparently sent to Moscow for further testing. Scott C. Waring of UFO Sightings Daily said his tiny alien body was found near a river in Russia and has no resemblance to any animal known. Russian scientists are confused for what it could be and said they need to wait for the results of the tests. What were the results of those tests, though? It was never reported. And just what in the hell is this abomination? This honestly may be one of the ugliest things I've ever seen doing videos like this. Back in 2015, a woman named Gianna Papansi posted the image to Facebook. She'd heard a scream outside her home in San Jose, California at around 11:30 at night. She went to check outside and she found it. Of course, she had no idea what it was, neither did anyone else. She wrote, "I wasn't gonna post this, but I can't stop trying to figure out WTF this thing is. I heard something scream at like 11:30 last night, went on my side yard and found this thing. Was dead when I found it." The post made its way to Reddit, shared with the caption, "Friend found this outside her house, WTF indeed." Some people went straight to the most obvious conclusion, saying it's clearly an alien. Others thought it could be a miscarried animal fetus, but nobody could say for sure which species. Nobody ever identified it, but there's another aspect to this case that makes it even more interesting. People have been seeing strange lights in the sky in the area around this time, so the alien rumor began getting a lot more traction. Rational explanation or not, though, that is not something I would ever want to find in my yard or anywhere for that matter. All that said, I've been your host, James. I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, next time.